What's up, everybody? It's Coach Colton here at Columbus Martial Arts. I hope you're having an amazing day today. Today, I want to do a short video, just 5 steps or 5 things we can do as parents at home to help our students achieve their goals as a martial arts parent. And this is a little bit martial arts specific. It's specific to our program here. So if you're not watching it as a parent, they're already in the program, everything might not make 100% sense, but I'm going to explain it as best as I can. If you are a parent who's been coming to the program for even just a little while, you'll have a great perspective on why these 5 things are so important and where I'm coming with these 5 tips. So if you're watching live, leave me a hashtag live. If you're watching later, drop a hashtag replay. And of course, if you have any questions, discuss things with me down in the comments. I always check the videos after I post them. I love to engage and interact with all of the different families out there. So in no particular order, here are 5 things that you can do to really engage your student and take them up to the next level. First up, I've come prepared with my list. First up, this is a really common one, and it's keep updates, can't talk, keep the coaches updated on recent things going on in the student's life, okay? The more we know about what's going on with your child, the better we can coach them and instruct them on the mats. It's our job to help every student in our programs reach their goals, whether it's becoming more focused, whether it's becoming more confident in themselves, whether it's a physical goal, an emotional goal, a social goal. We want to help them reach their goals. And when things change at home or at school, we need to be made aware because how we're going to coach that student is much different. All right. And it really is a 360-degree program. And we'll get to that, and some of these other things. It's not just bringing your kid twice a week to a martial arts class that's going to have major impact on their lives. There's a lot more to it than that. So if things are going on and they've had positive things happen recently, whether it's making AP honor roll or straight A's, getting nominated for a certain award, making it on a certain sports team, we want to know those positive things. If negative things happen, there's been, a uptick in disrespectful behavior at home. There was a recent loss in the family. If they made a bad grade on the report card, we want to know those things. We want to know the good, the bad, and the ugly, so that we can work with you as your child's coach, as another person in their village to help guide them and move them towards success. If I see a student who's acting differently on the mats, it helps me to know why that may be. And you'll be surprised, how things have a ripple effect and can change their performance at home, at school, and at martial arts that you may not even, put together the pieces on. So if anything happens that you think is considerable in your student's life, let the coaches know. That's why one of the reasons why we have the Messenger app on the phone. In the app, if you didn't know, that third tab is a messaging section that looks like a little text box, and that goes to all of the coaches. It goes to the front desk as well, so that whatever coach sees it can pick that up and hand it off to that student's coach and teaches them. Or if Miss Keene at the front sees it, she can notify us same day and let us know. And the quicker we get that information, the quicker we can, use that to help the classes and make the experience for that student even more customized, even more tailored to what they need in that moment. And this also extends to some of the good and bad and the ugly, anything going on with bullying at school. If they get into a fight, if they're if they're experiencing someone calling them bad names, or if they get in trouble at school, we want to know that stuff too. So number one, keep the coaches up to date on whatever's going on in your student's life so we can work with them and understand what's going on. Number two, allow your student to fail. Allow your student to fail. Failure is going to happen. I guarantee it. Even if they're an A++ kid, it always makes their bed in the morning, they're going to fail at something sometime, somehow, some way. Whether it's a belt test, a stripe test, a test at school, some type of trial, let your student fail. Okay? It's a tough thing to do. And you'd be surprised when we have these stripe tests, obviously students fail. And some parents, will argue with the coach or say, why did they fail, or want a second or third chance to redo it instead of allowing their kids to fail. And experiencing failure is a very important thing. Now, I'm not saying we're going to let them fail and let them suffer and never bounce back, and we're not going to provide any guidance or any coaching. But really, after that failure is when the coaching starts, right? The real stuff, right? That's when the parenting starts as well. Because when you experience that failure, let's say it's a stripe test failure, That's when a student who loves martial arts and loves attending class every day may say for the first time, Mom or Dad, I don't want to go to martial arts that day. Or they may say, martial arts isn't fun anymore. Or they may say, that was too tough, or that wasn't fair. It's going to give them the opportunity to experience emotions that they don't normally experience. And when they experience those things, we are also going to be there to help them process those emotions and handle it in the most positive way, and not use that failure as a reason to quit or to continue to fail in the future, but rather use that failure as fuel for their future success, right? And it's very important. It's very important. I'd rather have a student fail sooner than later. The sooner they learn how to deal with failure, the easier that their future will be, and probably the quicker they'll grow as a person. Because nobody's perfect, myself included. Coach Dom, Coach Andrew, Miss Keena, parents, principals, everyone has their flaws as a person. Everyone's going to fail at something. And some of the most successful leaders in the world have failed, but after they use those lessons to bounce back. So when your student fails a stripe test or belt test, let them fail. Let them experience the failure fully. Now be there to support them and to love them as their parent, and use that as an inspiration to do better on their next stripe test and their next belt test, because it's going to happen. Number 3, talk about the monthly word at home and do the monthly homework projects. Okay. This is going to take martial arts beyond a thing that they do if you're in a beginner programs 2 times a week, or more advanced programs 3-4 times a week, to something that they're going to exhibit all the time. Sometimes I'll have parents say, Coach Colton, on the mats, I don't even recognize my student. They're so focused and they follow directions so well. But when I try to do something with them at home, or I ask them to do something, it's like pulling teeth. Maybe they talk back, or they kind of drag their feet because they don't want to stop watching TV or doing whatever they're doing. And I get the same thing at school from their teachers. They're very well behaved, but I'm just having these problems at home, coach. I don't know what's going on. And really, it's about setting standards everywhere and having that same congruency and that same cohesiveness in every aspect of their lives. So if they're stepping into the academy and acting differently than they are at home, then we're not really doing a great job at building a black belt. Because a black belt's going to act the same way they are on the mats, the same way at home, same way at the cinema, at the library, at the park, at home, at community events. They're going to act the same way everywhere. All right. For example, our word this month is courage. I don't want to just have my students have courage here training. I want them to have courage when they're out of the restaurant, trying a new food for the first time. I want them to have courage at school, standing up to the bully. I want to have courage at home when they, get put in a situation where they're asked to experience something for the first time, and being able to step out of their comfort zone a little bit, or to take initiative on certain tasks. If they're only showing those things in the academy, then it's kind of missing the point. Because when parents come in for the first day and they say, hey, Coach Colton, I want my student to, work hard and have confidence in their abilities, or to have perseverance, or to have focus, they were never looking for those things to be shown in the martial arts class. They're looking for those things to be shown in their daily lives, right? So we need to engage them with those same thoughts and those same expectations at home and at school. So whatever your students currently learning in their martial arts classes, I encourage you from the parenting side to work with them on that at home. Now, do you have to? No. Am I going to know if you don't? Kind of, because the evidence is going to show how quickly your student's progressing. But honestly, I can't hold a ninja sword to anyone's throat and say, you've got to talk to them about this at home. But I guarantee you, if you take a few times a week to talk to them about the word of the month, to do the one project that we have on our Facebook page each month, and complete that with them. If you help them, learn their creeds, or to tie their belt, or to work with their moves at home, maybe twice a month, you're going to see a radical change in your child's behavior, because all of the standards that we have are going to flow over into the other areas of their life. And if you've set some expectations for them, they're going to, work inside those expectations. Students are very good at knowing where the lines are and where the rules are for things. That's why they love games, because there's a certain fairness to games when you follow the rules. Have you ever noticed how upset a kid gets when someone doesn't follow the rules? Everyone's a tattletale at that point. Oh, he cheated or she cheated, right? So they're very good at knowing where the lines are. We talked about that in our parenting video as well. If you didn't watch that video, I did it, I believe, late last month or maybe early this month, on the different types of parentings. We talked about that on the nuclear option. If you're the parent that just lets things boil over and you hold things inside, and all of a sudden they push your buttons, push your buttons, push your buttons, and you explode on them and you yell or you snatch them up or you do whatever you have to do because it's reaching that point. One, I understand where you're coming from, but two, now you've inherently taught them that that's where the line is. And if they can get away with things up into that line, they're going to, push up into that line. You're going to find yourself boiling over quite often. So it's all about the congruency. So number three, engage your students at home with the same material that we're going over in martial arts class. Number four, don't yell from the bleachers during class. And you might have seen that we sent out a notice about this yesterday on our app. And I hear it mainly in the younger classes. Parents will say, I'm sorry, Coach Colton, I didn't mean to yell, but I'm just so embarrassed. I see these other kids that are standing in line and my kid's just kind of spinning in circles, or everyone else listened to the drill and he just didn't quite listen and he had no idea what was going on. And parents feel embarrassed sometimes, especially when their child is young or first starting martial arts and they see the other kids that have been there for a while. I've had parents say, man, I don't even want to sit there because I know I'm going to want to yell out. And it's totally normal to want to yell out. And it's kind of the social norm in a lot of activities that you'll do with your child. If they do soccer, if they do t-ball, football, a lot of those outdoor sports, the social norm is for parents to yell out and say, go, Johnny, yeah, you got this. Or, oh, the ball, go get it. And to have that, that high level of verbal interaction from the sidelines. And even there can sometimes get a little too crazy. We all know that parent that gets a little too into it. But that's not the social norm in martial arts classes. That's not the expectation. And in fact, it's Columbus Martial Arts Academy, right? It's a place of learning. Imagine if you were in your child's kindergarten class and sitting in the corner, and when they turned around to talk to their friend when they weren't supposed to, you yelled out, hey, face the front. All the other kids in that kindergarten class would be like, whoa, what the heck is going on right here? This isn't normal at all, right? And it kind of does the opposite of what your intention was. Your intention was to get them to focus or interact or do what they're supposed to do. But now you've kind of painted a target on their back as being the kid that's doing less than all the other kids. They're the one that's stuck out. They're the one that's not doing the right thing. And it not only distracts them and makes them feel out of place, it's going to make the other kids around them get distracted as well and feel like, oh, well, hey, his parent's going to have to yell at him to get him to listen. If that's new expectations, now I know I can push it a little bit farther and kind of act out of turn until my parents yell at me also, right? So it kind of goes back to that previous thing we were talking about with, just having that same level of congruency. Now, if something's going on in our classes that you're not happy with, always let the coach know after class or let the front desk know or come up to me and let me know. Just like texting in about what's going on with your students' lives, we want to know what's going on so that we can tailor the experience and really make sure that we're handling every student to the best of our ability and making sure that they're reaching their goals. And every program is designed to help them reach their goals. But even in that program, every kid's a little different. Maybe you have a kid that's shy and doesn't want to speak up. And I have another kid that's maybe in the same program that speaks up just fine, but maybe speaks a little bit too much, needs to know when to stop talking, right? So sometimes we have to make some tweaks and changes in there. And the more you communicate with us, the better we're going to be able to do that. Fifth, finally, inspire your student at home. Inspire your student at home. When they're having those times when they are failing, we talked about it. Number two, allow them to fail. But after they fail, that's when you swoop in afterwards and you guide them. I think that there's a big shift in parenting styles. You'll hear that a lot. What's your parenting style? And we talked about parenting styles a little bit last month. And there's kind of this trend now where no baby talking to your child, talk to them like a grown up, allow them to make those choices, and to kind of be the puppeteer and pull the strings from the back and to kind of influence them and guide them to make the right decisions. And that's absolutely fantastic. Influence is 100% a better teaching tool than authority. The information is very clear on that. But what you have to realize is that your child is still a child, and if your touch is too light and you're too pulled back and you allow them to do whatever they want to do, they're not going to make good decisions. How could they? They don't have any life experience, right? That's when it's your job as a parent to make the right decision for them. But I think now we've maybe gone a little bit too the opposite way. Parents say, well, I don't want them to force them to do anything they don't want to do. Okay, well, that's kind of your job as a parent sometimes, analogy, and I don't think it's a ridiculous analogy. If your child was sick and you have the medicine to make them feel better, you try to give it to them and they say, I don't like the way that tastes, right? Cherry flavored cough syrup is not my way to go. But as a parent, the medicine is going to make them feel better and allow them to get better. Are you not going to give them the medicine just because they don't like the taste of it, right? Or in second grade, they're getting ready to go to third grade, but they don't want to go to third grade because they really like their second grade teacher. Are you going to let them just stay in second grade because they like that teacher a lot? No. They have to go to third grade. They have to get the medicine to feel better. As an adult who has life experience and who has had more failures and more successes, what the best choice is. So sometimes after that failure happens, you want to have that light touch, but you also have to have the presence of mind to say, hey, you're not quitting. Hey, you're going to do this. Or, hey, you need to set aside some time to practice the push-ups or do X, Y, and Z. And it's not just martial arts related. It's school related. It's life related. Sometimes as a parent, you've got to put the foot down. I'm all for letting kids make their own choices, but they're not always going to make the right choice, right? And when they start to poise themselves to make the wrong choice, let them fail. And afterwards, here's what you're going to do instead. Okay. You have to be there to influence and guide them after. If you don't ever come in and you just let them fail and let them choices, oh, he's going to figure it out. I'm a big believer that they're going to make the right choice. They're not going to make the right choice because they've never been influenced to make the right choice. All right. So thank you guys for watching. Those were my 5 ways to empower your students at home and off the mats and to engage with them. If you want to take your experience with martial arts up to the next level and really reap the benefits of the training they're putting in, you've got to do those 5 things. You've got to allow them to fail. You've got to hold back from yelling off the bleachers. You've got to inspire them after they fail. You've got to engage with them off the mats about the word of the month and the moves and the monthly project and homework assignment. And you've got to keep the coaches updated on what's going on at home and off the mats so that we can make sure we're doing our job at the best of our ability and really turning that student into the black belt that we all know they can be. Thank you guys for watching. As always, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you on the mats here very soon. Bye.